Arctic Test Chamber for the United States Army Research Institute of Environmental Medicine in Natick, Massachusetts.
Kids idolize Batman. They want to be Batman, and this one will be. That's right, Batfleck. How the heck did we get here? Welcome to a special Beyond the Trailer episode as we chronicle the road to Batfleck and how in today's world of TMZ and Twitter, he might just be the hero we deserve. Like every actor, Ben Affleck had to first pay his dues. And hey, every actor wishes they could pay their dues working with Richard Linklater and Kevin Smith.
I like to pick up girls on the rebound from a disappointing relationship. They're vulnerable, they much more need solace, and they're fairly open to suggestions.
Nice try, freshman. Tell you what, for being such brave little kids, I'm only gonna give each of you 5 licks. Okay? All right, grab a pole then, kid. Let's get going.
Audiences had yet to discover him, but directors liked him and critics liked him. Yet they all had no idea the perfect storm of ridiculousness that was brewing. And then in 1997, lightning strikes. Years of hard work directly pay off, as his now friend Kevin Smith writes Chasing Amy for Affleck, and the script he'd been pounding away at with childhood friend Matt Damon since 1992 finally hit the silver screen.
You don't owe it to yourself. You owe it to me. Because tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'll be 50. And I'll still be doing this shit. And that's all right, that's fine. I mean, you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket. You're too much of a pussy to cash it in.
Then, at 26, Affleck, along with Damon, won both the Golden Globe and Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay.
This is a little overwhelming for two guys who never even won a raffle, so it's
They had their golden statues, and Hollywood suddenly had their golden boys. Plus, one of those golden boys looked like a bona fide old-school matinee idol, complete with a cleft chin. Remember Winston's advice to Ray in Ghostbusters?
When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes!
Well, it's the same if someone asks you if you're a movie star. You say yes, even if you aren't.
How you feeling? Good, you know? I mean, considering I've never been this scared in my entire life, you know.
If you have a fault, which you obviously don't, it's modesty.
No, if I have a fault, it's candor. You are just so...
Now, what do you say to Santa's dwarves?
You say thank you. Never expected to fall in love with you.
God, you're a liar.
Interestingly, Batman and Robin's George Clooney found himself on a similarly sinking ship to Affleck, with Clooney's own salvation behind the camera perhaps acting as a lifeline for which Affleck could grab onto years later and likewise pull himself out. But at the moment, in the eye of the developing storm, for Affleck there were enough silver linings on the darkening clouds to make him feel things weren't so bad.
Huzzah! The English men are returned to the house!
I drive a Ferrari, 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid.
But just as 1997 had made Affleck's career, 2003 destroyed it.
It's turkey time.
Huh?
Gobble, gobble.
I like big butts, and I cannot lie. The other brothers can't deny. When the girls walk in with the AB voice and round things in your face.
I didn't do that. Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. It doesn't make sense. This is a mistake has been made.
You took away my hands. Show mercy.
Bullseye.
Is that really necessary?
Yet bad movies, even 3 in a row in a single year, happen, right? Although, kicking off 2004 with Surviving Christmas didn't exactly help. But no, what made 2003 so devastating for Affleck was that things fell apart off-screen as well. After breaking up with Paltrow, he and his Geely co-star J-Lo became a couple and tabloid staple, the latter fueled by her insistence on accessorizing him. Clearly, he did not fit in J-Lo's world. Then a hot new indie play, Matt and Ben, became an overnight sensation, kickstarting Mindy Kaling's career.
That money's good to me! Every day I wake up and I wish I could have given back.
Kaling played Ben, as she and her own co-writer and co-star viciously lampooned the duo. They say timing is everything, and tragically, 2003 was indeed the perfect moment to question how this guy could have co-written Good Will Hunting. The accusations were baseless and quite frankly slanderous, but played into one of Hollywood's favorite pastimes, tearing down what they've built. So yes, Affleck found himself basically having to start from scratch, his career completely torn down to the foundation. To his credit, a lot of other actors would have just quit, gone to TV before it was fashionable, or got a reality show, which at this point was also not particularly fashionable. Man, I guess there weren't a lot of career options for actors back at the turn of the century. I hope today's actors appreciate how lucky they are. With that in mind, it's even more impressive that Affleck just dug in and started to work.
Rip, hand to God, you got nothing to worry about with this.
Yeah?
Okay, I've assembled a team now. We're gonna go in, we're gonna get this guy, and everyone is gonna leave the theater grinning.
Let me tell you something, Jimmy. You got nothing out there protecting you. There's nothing. No security, no gate, no hidden camera, no patrols. Anybody can just walk in off the street and put a cap in the back of your head.
If you did shoot me, and the bullet bounced off, it might accidentally hit someone else. We don't want that to happen, do we?
I trusted you. You're my friend. You were supposed to be my friend when you were my wife. You're my friend, Cal. I never would have done this to you.
I've never seen a woman anywhere near that hot working here. Makes sense, though, huh? I mean, hot girls need jobs, too, right? Do they really?
You want honesty, Maggie? I'm a 37-year-old unemployed loser who can't support his family.
Okay, look, you are going to find a job working for people who know how lucky they are to have you.
Now, while Affleck was working and keeping himself on Hollywood's radar, he must have thought back to George Clooney and that lifeline, still dangling in the cold, choppy waters of showbiz. So, 5 years after Clooney, Affleck followed almost exactly in his footsteps, first staying behind the camera for Gone Baby Gone, and then starring as well as directing with The Town and, of course, Argo.
Here's your director.
You teach somebody to be a director in a day?
You teach a rhesus monkey to be a director in a day. Look, if you're gonna do this, you gotta do it.
And to show just how f***ed up Hollywood really is, many have argued that Argo won Best Picture because Academy voters felt bad Affleck had been snubbed in the directing category after winning it pretty much everywhere else. Felt bad. Let me say it again. Hollywood felt bad Ben Affleck had been dissed. Full circle, baby! Who else but someone with Batman's level of planning, manipulation, and determination could pull this off? Hollywood, you just got Tower of Babbled. If you don't read comics, that's where it's revealed Batman has kept files on his fellow Justice Leaguers and how exactly to take them down, even though they're on the same side. But Batman stands alone, as does Batfleck. Sure, Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot are in this movie, but it will live or die by Affleck's performance, as an older, more seasoned Frank Miller-y version of the Caped Crusader. And when you think about it, truly think about it, doesn't Ben Affleck now perfectly embody the Bruce Wayne Batman dynamic? He killed it in Gone Girl. We can't wait for his next directing project where he'll also star Live by Night, but he wants to remake Strangers on a Train? Ridiculous. Yes, the shadow of the old Ben Affleck will always be lurking, but maybe Batfleck can use that, both on screen and to remind him of what could be if he's not really, really careful. So, what do you think of the road to Batfleck? A fascinating ride or a dead end? I'm Grace Randolph, and I hope you'll write your own thoughts down below, as well as subscribe.